back, everybody, to Fresh from the Trollbox, the BitMEX Trader podcast, in our 24th episode together with our CEO, Stephan Lutz. And we're obviously going to look at the market right now live as we're dumping and as Bitcoin has departed from the 70K range. So very curious to hear from you, Stephan. Have you been underexposed this week, and are you feeling it now?
Well, I would rather say overexposed in the wrong direction. As we quickly catched up before the recording, I incurred losses basically eating up my profits of February because I was very long at the beginning of the week. Didn't really turn out, and when the dump happened, I watched it and I was like, if it goes on this, I mean, this is just. There's just an opinion. There is no macro behind it. And we look at the order books, right, in a couple of minutes. But basically saying, okay, at 68K, if we breach 68, it will go further down. I went short under 68K, and then it went up again. So let's see what happens, right? So did everything wrong on Bitcoin. Was a little bit luckier this week on ADA. So I traded a bit of ADA this week. This went pretty well with a little bit of luck, but I was very disciplined there. With Bitcoin, that was emotional trading right now. So that's how it is. We spoke in earlier episodes about being disciplined about your trading, setting your thresholds right. I breached my own preaching, so it's my fault.
That's true. Sometimes we win and sometimes we learn, right? As the famous saying goes. I mean,
lose and sometimes the others win. That's
exactly. The money is just with somebody else now. It wasn't a terrible week, right? Let's have a look.
No.
Bitcoin had a new all-time high.
Couple of.
There was, yeah.
That was really it, right? And this is why it went emotional. We saw lots of volume in the markets, and why not everyone, but people got excited, including me as well. I was like, okay, something is happening. If you look at it week on week, right, on the 7 days notice, it's not that much of action, but it went like a lot in between. What I found most interesting is the relative outperformance of Solana now compared to ETH. Usually they walk more in lockstep, but now Solana surpassing ETH tremendously, and even ETH not really reacting to what's going on the Bitcoin side. Probably because of uncertainties around the updates. So, this is a little bit of macro. I would say this is the macro piece or the fundamental piece in the noise trading of the other coins that we see. So quite interesting how that develops. Huh?
Yeah, you mentioned already, right? There's a bit of uncertainty around ETH because of the Deacon upgrade that happened this week, and that changes the tokenomics. I think nothing that came as a total surprise, obviously, but still the market is curious to see if there will be basically a lower or smaller incentive for people to stake ETH because the network may just be more efficient now, right? And then you mentioned Solana. That has probably taken up a lot of the ETH sellers, right?
For the traders, it's natural, right? ETH needs to find its new network equilibrium. That's a big word, but it basically means people need to adapt to it, and then you need to see what the result is. Solana unchanged, so you go to where you know how it works, so you have an outperformance pretty clearly.
And then we have just on the charts to Doge, who reacted as also often to a tweet, a comment from Elon Musk, the secret chief Doge officer, I guess, who mentioned that Tesla and Twitter would consider at one point to make use of the Doge network. But again, right, sometimes things are set and not really implemented in any time soon. So that kind of short breakout here that we saw was just guided by this. Let's have a quick look at the order books for Bitcoin, because that is obviously very hot right now. And we, as always, look a little bit here in the right side of the chart, where the more yellow and more strong, bright colors you see, the more orders are put, as well as the more dark colors you see, the less or the thinner the order books are. This is an aggregated order book view, so not just from BitMEX, but from multiple exchanges. And we can see there is a bit of a black void here. So there isn't a lot of resistance in any direction in this region right now. We can see that Previously, there were some bands here in the 69 range, 68 range, but they have all been vanished with the last flush in the last couple of hours, and really only some stronger resistance coming in the 62 with maybe like a little one here at the 65 range. While at the same time also upwards, still no lack of confidence, right? There is basically no strong resistance, but on the other hand, also no strong call up. And then looking at who is essentially present in the order books or how big are the order sizes, we can see whale and large traders still dominating in the market, with the small orders really fainting more and more. And the one surprising one is sort of a second larger size, 100K and more. They have left the market a little bit earlier, have started to take orders out of the books, and are currently at a low. So hard to explain why, as they would usually walk more in lockstep with the large traders. But looks like the very big orders are still prominent. A step smaller has started to reduce their order sizes really in the market in either direction, right? Be it long or short.
Yeah,
and then over to you for a quick view on the open interest and funding rates.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing here is, I mean it's not funny, but what it means is, as I said, it's a little bit of noise trading time, right? And there's not a lot of fundamentals or macro things happening at the time, and with this big void, so to say, where it can move freely without any strong resistances or support lines, you never know what happens. So personally, I'm really sitting hours and hours in front of the screen, just seeing how the candles develop. And then another one, why it's noise trading time. You just open it, the open interest, what I spoke about earlier in one of our earlier episodes. It's pretty healthy. So we went back to something that is more in line with trading volumes, something that basically doesn't indicate that there is a lot of imbalance in the books, which then means, again, there is no clear trend. Right, so any trend can evolve anytime, and this makes it so interesting if you are, let's say, a day trader or someone who really likes to sit in front of the screen and just trade these cycles up and down. And they are pretty predictable, even with Bitcoin, right? I mean, it's like going up to like around 73, 74, and then bouncing back, then going down to 67, 68, going up again, going down, going up. I mean, that's still what you can trade right now. Open interest doesn't indicate that there is a big positioning, and if you go to funding rates, it's actually the same. Funding rates after the dump right now, more than healthy. So everything's basically in line, no real positioning. You see that as well if you go into the derivatives order books and you trade. You see that the futures prices or the swap prices are very in line. There is not a lot of positive or negative basis. And it's actually even fluctuating. Sometimes, I mean, really by the second, it's contango and backwardation. So that means we're hovering around at the current levels, waiting for a new trend really to develop. I think that's healthy for the market to take a breath. So if you're a spot trader, if you're an investor or a hodler, I think that's good. Just wait, all will be good. I mean, if you look at previous cycles, same thing. If you are a trader, you basically, to make some money, need to engage into serious day trading.
Yeah. Again, just like last week, it's not an easy market right now, right? It's a technical market, and as you mentioned, I mean, just looking at the open interest again, we can also see that, say, CME, for example, very little change, and that indicates that clearly on the institutional side, there's no lack of confidence. We shouldn't expect any major jumps there. But it's mostly, I guess, a bit of fear from smaller buyers and sellers, and or people that are new to the market, right? With every bull run, there's some new attracted users, and then they're a bit more careful, rightfully so. All right. With that, Stephan, anything else, or should we have a look at what the market brings next week and roll
Let's
the dice?
have a look at how we should position ourselves for next week. Yes.
Let's roll the dice and see where we should be next week. It's a buy.
Absolutely.
It remains a buy. There we go. Buy the dip. And with that, at 68,200, I wish you a very nice weekend. Spend some time on the screen, but also spend some time outside.
Have a nice weekend, man. See you.